3 goals down. Not one, not two, 3 goals down. Orlando Pirates mountain to climb after the first CAF game in Lumbumbashi. And yeah, not a great result. Joe and I found a very dodgy stream and attempted to watch this game. Wasn't easy, but we managed to catch a little bit of it and draw some conclusions as to what we think happened and what's going to be on the line for the return leg next week, because the implications of not qualifying for the next round of CAF are massive for many different reasons, which we'll discuss in this podcast. So yeah, stay with us, Joe. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, it's been a tough day at the office for me today.
Yeah, what a tough day indeed. I mean, to take 3 in DRC, and all the respect to Lupopo, it's a very good team, but more TP Mazembe as Vita Club, from DRC. I really don't think the players, the coach, they thought it would be that difficult there. But here we are now, 3 goals down, and we just have to create a miracle next week in Orlando.
Yeah, and to explain my situation, I lost a bet today. Everything went wrong for me today. Supposed to run the Cape Town Marathon this morning. That got cancelled. Orlando Pirates lost 3-0. And then Liverpool lost to Man United and I lost a bet. And here I am wearing a Man United shirt, which is the worst thing possible for me. So it's been a tough day for me. But we're hoping Orlando Pirates can turn this on its head next week. Joe, from what you picked up today, is there any way Orlando Pirates does the business in Orlando to turn this tie around?
Look, we're going to do the business at Orlando. I'm sure that we'll win, because there's no ways the players and the coaching staff and the management, they can accept to lose 3-0 in DRC, right? There's no ways. They've got pride. I think they really are feeling really bad, the players, the coaches right now, going back from Lubumbashi to Johannesburg. And the good thing is that we've got the whole week to prepare. It's a huge game. It's a huge game. We have to be in the group stages. You can't be a semi-finalist of a CAF Champions League the year before and you get kicked out in a preliminary round. I really don't. It's impossible. And I'm sorry, but people that say, it's a good team. Yes, of course, it's a great team. But we are semi-finalists of the CAF Champions League. We are actually a team that claims that we want to win Champions League, and we've got the players for it. That's for sure. And today was just an absolute nightmare. To lose 3-0 is, I don't know what to say. I still can't understand it. We are Orlando Pirates. At the end of the day, we are Orlando Pirates, one of the biggest clubs in Africa. You don't lose 3-0 away in a preliminary round when you're a top African team, and we're a top African team. So now, the players, I hope they are going to have a good look at themselves and think that they can reverse the result. I really do think they can reverse the results. I don't know what you think, but now it's on them.
Look, there's four massive implications here to us not qualifying for the group stages, which we'll get into. But before we get there, I just want to ask you, obviously our Orlando Pirates players were massively important in South Africa's qualification for the World Cup. In the last game, 5 of Orlando Pirates players started in that game. Those 2 qualifiers took a lot of energy. Us as South Africans, so a lot of emotional energy invested in those 2 games, and obviously sort of the elation of qualification and just the amount of energy that it took, I think, to secure that qualification. Do you think we can use that as a tiny excuse for what's happened today?
I'm always very blunt. I don't think we have excuses. We had the full squad, the coach made his choices, and some players that played with Bafana didn't start, for example. So I don't think it's that. There's no excuse here. I'm sorry, but now players are in front of a huge wall that they can actually overtake, but they have to do it. And it is what it is, right? A game is a game. You are only as good as your last game. It's a very well-known saying in sports. And that's where we are. We were 8 wins in a row, and then we lose 3-0 in a game of Champions League. So here we are. Now let's do it at Orlando.
Yeah. Look, the one thing that I would say, and I don't want to compare Wadu to Rivero, but the one thing that Rivero did do and why he was so successful in Africa is that often away from home in these tough fixtures, he set up very defensively, and there was times, especially towards the back end of the CAF run last season, we went away from home and we'd play 3 at the back, and he would play on the break completely and look to just get a draw, sneak a goal, something, and like very, very just tactically astute away from home, which I think you have to be in Africa. I think to go play completely open and try to go like with, I mean, the squad, the lineup we put out today was a pretty aggressive attacking side. And sometimes I think in African football, you got to be pragmatic and just like know that a point away from home in South African in CAF football is a massive result.
Absolutely agreed. We can talk after the game. Unfortunately, we took 3 now. And yes, I think Wadu is obviously going to have to answer lots of questions when he's back in South Africa. That's for sure, with journalists and stuff. But the nice thing with Wadu, I think, like the group of players, they really enjoy working with him. He's got a week to really find the right words with the players, to get the players actually to believe that they can do it. I personally think that they're going to do it, because I watched a bit of the game today, and there's no ways we play like this normally, right? Like, it was just an absolute nonsense day for Paris. Nothing went like the right way. We scored a goal. It was, I mean, the ref said there was a foul. It's CAF football. You know, you have to play with this. Now we're going to be at home in our own stadium in altitude, where in DRC they don't have the attitude we have. So we have to put as much pressure as we can from the beginning. And if we score a goal early, I really think that we can do it. I don't know what you think. Like, that's why we love football. It's like for stories like this, and the players, they have now the opportunity to do something amazing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible. And as tough as it is for South African teams to travel to Congo, and I've been there, it is very difficult to travel there. We played against TP Mazembe when I was at Supersport, and look, it's no easy task, even if the team's not the best. The travel alone is one part of it. Then the conditions, playing on artificial pitches. I mean, none of us South African players play on artificial pitches. Like, there are all these small factors that add up, and it makes it extremely difficult. So, and you also never know what goes on behind the scenes. I've heard of, there's so many different stories I can tell about just how difficult it can be. So, but as difficult as it is for us to travel, it's also not easy for teams to come to South Africa, especially into Orlando Stadium when it's packed and the South African players turn it on at a decent altitude. Yeah, it's hard for teams to keep up with that. And I think if the Pirates that we know turns up in Orlando, I think there's no reason that they can't overturn the deficit. But just some of the implications of if we don't get this over the line and get through, just so that we know what's on the line here and what's at stake if we don't overturn this 3-0 deficit. I mean, first up is obviously financially. Just to get to the group stages of CAF Champions League is, I think, $550,000, which is equivalent of about 10 million rand that you miss out on just from getting to the group stages. And look, as Orlando Pirates, group stage is not even enough. I mean, to get to this quarters, semis, final, we know the kind of money that's involved. And Pirates would have been, with the amount of investment they've made in the squad, that would have been something that they would have been planning for, I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a great financial deal if we get out of Champions League even before the group stages. I think you only make $100,000 for the preliminary rounds, but it just helps for the travel basically, because the travel is even more than the money you get from CAF. So financially, it's not a good thing. But I think there's other implications as well. I think you are telling me, and you're right. Like, we're counting how many players there's in the squad at the moment. There's around 40 players that we have.
That was another factor. I mean, when we compiled the squad and we signed 7 or 8 midfielders, when we got 5, 6 top quality centre backs, I mean, within the next month or two, I've heard that in back training, we're going to have 5, 6 quality centre backs. I mean, our squad is stacked with good footballers, but what are we going to do with all those guys, and how are we going to keep them happy and fit and ready to go when we are only playing in the league and in cup? Because I'm pretty sure that when they built this big quality squad, that they were assuming we were going to have a lot of African travel and a lot of African football.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we've got a team that's built to go far in Champions League. I think we all agree on that. But we still have got a game to to show that we actually deserve to be in CAF. And look, if we don't do it, then we didn't deserve it. But then the players will really have to have a good look at themselves. We're always here, and I always praise the players when they do well. But when you do bad, sometimes it's okay to do bad, sometimes it happens. But doing bad like this, we are lucky there's still a return leg. And I don't know. I just feel that the players actually will be amazing next week, and they'll show that they're Orlando Pirates. You are one of the best teams in Africa. You have to
100%.
be in the Champions League.
Yeah. And then another negative factor that hopefully this will be the last one, but I mean, no continental football until next year if we lose this game. I mean, it's not like you drop down to the CAF Confed or anything. If you lose this one, it's curtains. We wait for next season and hopefully get CAF football again next season. I mean, that's the reality of how important this next game is. And I think it's important for all the fans and for everyone to realize, and the players, of course, is just the monumental, like how big this game is and the necessity that we overturn this, because otherwise, we wait until next year to play CAF football again.
That's it. It's a big task, and the players are aware of it. I think what's going to be nice is, I think, for the fans at Orlando, they always pitch up for big games like this. I really do think we'll have a very, very good crowd. And we need the supporters to be behind the boys from the first minute to the last. And in football, everything can be very quick. You can score 2 goals in the last 2 minutes of the game and stuff like this, right? So let's have faith on the boys. They messed up today, let's be honest, but they can redeem themselves. And that's why we love sports. It's because sometimes there's a day off, but you can redeem yourself in the next game. And I really hope they'll do it here.
Yeah, look, it hasn't been the best day for me. I want to put it behind me, and hopefully Pirates can put this behind them. Guys, one massive week. Let me know in the comments, can Orlando Pirates overturn the 3-0 deficit in Orlando? Let's get behind the boys. Send your messages of support. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And we'll see you next week, hopefully, after Orlando Pirates do the business. Joe, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.
Guys.